Hey, man.
Hey, man.
All right, welcome everybody to the Hey Man podcast. I'm Sidro, and I'm here with the Ultraviolet Catastrophe, also known as UV.
Or UV Cat, or, I don't know, the Ultra Cat, or something. Whatever works, whatever is most convenient.
Caltech DDR stream on Twitch.
Yep. And your Twitch channel is just /Sidro, right?
Yep, just... But so we're doing this just because we thought there were a couple of interesting things that were worth talking about related to stamina or upcoming events. Interesting things to talk about, so we're just going to do that today. It's just going to be kind of like a free flow of consciousness, nothing super edited or rehearsed. So
yeah, we just got a few topics to talk about and like some community news. It'll be a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll try to make this a semi-regular thing and maybe get a lot more people involved with it.
Yeah, sounds good. So I guess the big thing that we should probably start with is Stamina Con 2.
Yeah, that's going to be really exciting. It's also the competition for ECS 9, and it was a lot of fun last year. That was a Stamina Con 1 and ECS 8. I guess they're the same thing, but like ECS 8 was at the event because Stamina Con is more than ECS.
Yeah, I had a blast last year. That was my first stamina tournament.
Yeah, it was just my first tournament ever.
Yeah, it was a blast. So for people who might not know about it, this year it's going to be starting September 4th through the 6th at the Doubletree Hotel by the Hilton Airport, BWI Airport, in Baltimore, Maryland.
Yeah, that'll be really nice. Because last year we had to go a long way from the airport to get there, and this time it'll just be right close.
Yeah, I think he even said in the Facebook thing that there's going to be a shuttle straight from the airport, so you can just catch a shuttle straight from the airport straight to the hotel. You don't need Uber, so it's going to be super convenient.
That's wonderful.
I guess there's going to be lots of food places nearby this year, lots of restaurants within walking distance. So it should be much better access to food. Yeah.
And I think the space is going to be better too, yeah. There won't be a sad potted plant in the corner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think this year also the plan is to do some different tournaments, not just ITG or just stamina.
Yeah, so which is exciting. I think last year they had a DDR machine and then what was it, 2DX and some other stuff.
They had some pump and dance rush.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, so there's other stuff to do. There are lots of hand games. I'm not super familiar with the names of all the hand games. I'm the wrong person to ask for that.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of those. But it's looking like it's probably going to be a pretty sweet event, and I'm definitely looking forward to it.
It's also worth noting that if you want to participate in the competition, you don't have to be top level stamina or anything to compete. Last year there was a lower division, and basically anyone who wanted to play charts from 12s to 18s could, and then be ranked on a spreadsheet. It was a lot of fun for those people, so it just worked because there are so many setups that people could play on. I think we'll have the same amount this year, so if you're interested in coming, just come.
I have thought about that. I think this year it's going to be much more competitive.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially if top 16 instead of top 24.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It might go top 24 again for upper or lower, but even if it is, I feel like this year it's going to be much more competitive. So if people are interested in competing for that, I would say, I have been, and I think you have been too. It's start training now. Start working towards it now.
I've got a modus operandi for that. Start with the marathons and end with the fast stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Stamina Con's looking sweet. I think the competition's going to be pretty up there this year.
There'll be a lot of 24s and ups.
I'm hoping to get to 22s by the time September rolls around. That's my goal. And I think you're probably gonna, depending on attendance from possibly Canada or who's coming in from Europe. I think if a lot of people do travel, I think it'll be very competitive, and I think around the 22 level, it's down to top 24.
Oh yeah, absolutely. To get top 24, it'd definitely be 22s this year. People are just getting really good now.
Yeah, for effort, that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's going to be really interesting. So, on the topic of marathons,
Marathon good.
We should talk about the marathon spreadsheet.
Yeah, this is something that Sidro and I put together a couple weeks ago. Basically, we took a list of all the marathons that have ever been in an East Coast stamina event from like ECS 1 to ECS 8, kind of collected them together, put them in a list, and then allowed people to like kind of check off like what marathons they've done. I feel like this was kind of done for me just because I was writing them all down on a piece of paper and then just like crossing them off as I went. This is a much better solution, and it's just kind of fun to see what everyone has done in terms of marathons.
Yeah, I really also wanted to do it for myself just because I wanted to see kind of what was out there, and I feel like I was pretty bad at marathons, and it was a skill I wanted to start working on now and not wait till the last minute.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
We can put a link to the marathon spreadsheet in the show notes.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that.
Yeah, I encourage everybody to go check it out. If you want to be added, all you need is an email address. But if you are going to be added, I would encourage people not to use it as just like a use it once and never look at it again, but to actually use it to like go through, and complete some marathons and just for your own progress. So if you want to be on it, just let me know and I can add you.
Yeah, and we were thinking a little bit about having some kind of challenge for completing a certain number of marathons or something like that, but we haven't finalized it yet. So if we ever do, we'll let you know about that like next time.
I've added some nice some lamps at the top. You can check out the lamps.
Yeah, check out the lamps. They're pretty great.
If you complete all of the marathons in a given block, say the 15 or 16 block or so on, if you complete all the marathons in that block, you'll get a lamp. So it's a handy dandy lamp.
Also, if you don't know where to find something, feel free to like ask in the Stamina Nation Discord, because some of the marathons, it's not completely obvious where they're from.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of them, so I had to kind of dig around and get a lot of the course ones. I had to go, hunting for.
Yeah,
a little hard to find for sure.
And some of them are very esoteric, like the ABCs of stamina.
I've definitely been enjoying the 0.5 marathons.
Yeah, they have kind of a unique flavor to them.
Yeah, watching you grind out a billion 13s. Getting brain damage.
Yeah, literal brain damage. I love to play 50 13s at 1.2 rate in one set.
Yeah, so I guess if we talk about what we've been up to lately, UV has been grinding 13s.
Yeah, it's been a great time. 13s are overrated or underrated. They're definitely underrated if you rate mod them. I've just been kind of trying to get a bunch of completion on the spreadsheet, basically. That's my goal for like the next month or probably month. Just like get most of the marathons up to like 22s. And then maybe after that start trying to pass 23s again. I just get tired of like failing things for stupid reasons at the higher levels.
Jace is not UV is not very good at mines, and
hey, I'm yeah, that was very epic.
There's some good clips floating around. You can find those. Around.
You should just put them in the notes. It's just actually really funny. I got so stuck in memeing that I stopped like looking at the arrows, and then I forgot how to hit the notes. It was a great time.
Yep. Speaking of 7.5s, have confirmation from Ian or from Archie that he will be doing some kind of stream preview for 8.5.
Oh, that'll be really exciting.
Show stuff off.
He kind of did that last year too, but I think it will probably be a bit more exciting this year. Well, maybe I'm a little biased because I'm also going to have a chart in 8.5 that I think is pretty cool. So it's only one, but it might be something to look forward to, seeing people pass.
Cool. Yeah, I've been checking out some of Russ's recent submissions. He's got a couple coming in.
Yeah, he's got some really solid song selections that he's been mentioning.
Good music. Yeah, there's been some good music. The browsing through the SoundClouds for Space Chimps and some other people.
Yeah,
good stuff.
And he's a really solid charter too. So Yeah, it's going to be fun to play whatever he's making.
Mm-hmm. Well, what else should we talk about here? What about some? There's been some pretty interesting recent score developments or recent scores people have posted. You got any thoughts on some spicy scores?
Oh yeah. I tried to grab a whole bunch of interesting stuff that people have done recently. The first thing that just came up here is Rust has been grinding foot speed as usual. The one interesting score I saw was like 8 measures of 353. Yeah, that's what it is. Kind of ridiculous. Rust is really good at foot speed, and he's going to continue to get good at foot speed. He mentioned, I think, on Voice Stream last week that he'd almost passed Scarlet Tempest 1.1, like the original non-restep version in Tachyon Zeta, like the same one that Mad Matt passed in that famous video. But so the difference between like Mad Matt doing it and anyone else doing it is that Mad Matt played it in Stompers, which uses the a very generous life bar, and a very generous like combo to regain scoring system. So it would be very hard to do it in ITG, but it's definitely seeming like that's going to happen relatively soon. So that's exciting. So if it does, we will let you know. But for now, he's just going to keep trying to push the boundaries of what people can do. The limit is definitely not anywhere close to 350. It's probably closer to 400, if that. But we'll see where people go with that.
If we're talking about pushing the boundaries, then I hope you got some Levitas scores for me.
Oh, yeah. So Levitas does it again, ups the maximum difficulty of the game. He passed Hawkeye, which is like 240 measures of 280 last week. And then this week he passed the very first 28 that anyone has ever passed. Well, I guess he kind of... Okay, that's not completely true, because he did like 180 measures of 300 with like a little break, but that was like half of a song. But like the actual first pass, that was this week. Actually, I don't have it. What chart did he pass? I can look for it again.
Let's see here. I can pull this up. Terrible.
Oh, it was like Beautiful Night Fever or something. See if I can find it. Flowering Night Fever. That's right.
Okay. Yeah,
we'll put the link in the
yeah.
in there as well.
290
BPM.
With some serious. It looks really dense.
It's super dense. There's very short breaks, which is the way he likes it. It's like 230 measures total of 290, like decently hard. No one can argue that it's fake. Like,
yeah, 28, 15, 15. Another small break, 15 again, 18, 67. Little Ian. Then it's got a 12, 13, and then a 31. So yeah, yikes at 290.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like, you wouldn't think there'd be a big difference with the way that he's been refining his form for the last few months, especially with playing no bar, but if you go back and look at his older 24s, you can definitely see the improvement, and that's what makes all the difference at this level. So there's nothing really holding him back. We'll definitely be seeing probably 29s from him at some point, but it's just really exciting to see. Also, best stamina player in the world also plays no bar, so the world's first 28 pass is also the world's first no bar 28 pass.
Because why not?
Because why not? You just gotta dunk on everyone else. It's like the ultimate flex.
T-pose for dominance.
Yeah, basically. But in a completely different vein, actually, like let's eschew singles completely. Aoreo has been playing a lot of doubles lately and taking a lot of records on ITG officials and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I think probably the most demonstrative score, he got like a 98.29 on Vertex Squared, the double chart.
Some ancient officials.
Yeah, with some really epic patterns. There's a lot of good clips on his channel of just some of the most insane stuff that people have made. I think one of my favorite actually isn't even Aoreo's. It's Cardboard Boxes. He's playing Sissy That Walk from Sexuality Violation, and it's just like he's moving from like the up to the down
That's a great clip.
on both of his feet on both sides of the pad. It looks hilarious.
That's a good one. Like, yeah, there's some fun air quotes. Double charts for sure.
Yeah, you can troll people a lot more with doubles charts than with singles, I think.
Mm-hmm.
On a completely different note, Tuke's been playing again a little bit. He passed Universe last week, which was cool. He's getting back into the swing of things. And Jim B, who is better than me, and is also got good very fast, and then got stuck at 23's for like 7 months. He finally passed his second 23.
And by Jim B, you mean Jake B.
Jake B, yeah, sorry.
Jake B. Yeah.
Jake B, sorry.
Yeah, you passed Bam, right?
Yeah, Bam. It's like a 254 BPM 23.
Yeah, that song's great.
Great song.
Good very fast.
Yeah. It's like probably the only like entry level 250 or mid 250 BPM 23, which is unfortunate, but at least it exists. I guess before ECSA it didn't even exist at all, so there just wasn't anything there. Yeah. But it's definitely a good one to play if you want to break into that level.
Been watching some Hasser's streams the last week or two. He's been banging out some 21s.
Oh yeah, he's really been going hard on it. I
told him to play Astral Reaper the other day, and he got that.
Yeah, he passed like Lunar Eclipse, and then like the other day he warmed up with Jack Off Marathon, and then played like 2 other 21s. It was pretty wild. He's gonna pass a 22 soon for sure if he keeps going the way he's going now.
Yeah, he's trying to get a Bright Future, but that's definitely
honestly a Bright Future is harder than people say it is, in my opinion. Like, compare that to, like, I don't know, Dernier Voyage. It's definitely harder. It's more broken, sure, but, like, it's almost twice as long, and like, the first 2/3 has very little break, so seems harder to me.
Journey's got a big run at the end. Pretty intimidating.
Yeah, that's true.
But, yep, so good work to him on the 21s. I hope to be joining him shortly.
Oh, you will join him shortly. Yep. You're like right there.
Yep.
Yeah, actually, why don't you say a little bit about the scores that you've done recently?
I've been failing 21s near the end recently.
Yeah, you got like 2/3 of the way through Haunt Sampler, you said?
Yeah, it's like a little over 7K steps in.
It's like a 15-minute? 21 at 210?
It's not that long. Less than that, maybe 10 or 12, but
okay.
It's long.
Longish.
And then, yeah, very close on Send My Love to Mars, Shrons, Astral Reaper, Ribbons. I forget the first part of that song's name.
Oh, Yudachi no Ribbon?
Yeah, Yudachi. So, very close. There's just going to be a good day, as soon as I'm like healthy and just have a good set, I feel like I'm gonna bang out like 3 or 4 in a row.
Yeah, you're just like right there, and it's very easy to do that like between 20s and 21s for some reason. Like I was there for a super long time until I finally just got it, and then I was like, oh, this isn't so bad anymore. But before that, I would just be kind of failing 21s in the most tragic locations.
So when's Mirrors of Fate?
Oh my god, don't even... So I failed Mirrors of Fate like a couple weeks ago, 48 from the end, which was really sad. And it wasn't because I was tired, it was just because my left foot was moved out too far and I couldn't figure out what was going wrong. And so I just got like a bunch of way offs and then I failed.
Well, you haven't really been playing, air quotes, real sets lately.
No, I haven't. I've been trying to pass a whole bunch of marathons, which is probably not the best use of my time for increasing my difficulty skill, but it's just so that they don't get too easy. Like, if I get any better, they're going to be so boring, even when they're rate modded, that I just won't want to do them, so got to get them out of the way now.
You don't have to do them.
But we made the spreadsheet, and there's lamps. I got to do it now. See, I got brain damage. That's what everyone says, and it's true. I've just got this like Stockholm syndrome problem with marathons, And especially if I play them and then I fail them in the middle, then it's like, I really have to play them then.
You could always alternate the variety of your sets. Maybe play some, higher difficulty sets.
I could, and I will, but I really want to just get, like, all the annoying stuff out of the way. But maybe it's not the best use of my time. I don't know.
So for, like some newer players or players at, like, a lower level, anywhere from, like, the, 13 to, 16 range, what's your thought as far as how to progress and how to progress quickly for them?
So I think, like, the biggest thing is just work on moving less. I wouldn't really worry too much about pad modding because it probably isn't going to be holding you back, and it's hard. It's something to start. It's something to start working at that time, but it's not. It shouldn't make the difference between whether you pass or fail or not. What will make the difference is, like, how far you're moving on the pad. If you're moving your feet super far to hit the arrows, that'll tire you out really fast. And even with a poorly modded pad, most players in that range, myself included when I was there, can make significant form improvements. And then it's a lot easier to not fail just by moving less.
Yep. I give everybody the same advice. Just play a lot.
Yeah.
Play, like, every day, every other day, 4 or 5 times a week. Play as much as you can.
Yeah, and also don't worry too much about what your form looks like. As long as you're moving less, it's fine. They're like, every top level player has a different form in some respect. So it's just a matter of doing what works for you. If you try to do a form that doesn't work for you, it's relatively easy to injure yourself. So that's kind of why it's not recommended. There aren't really superior forms, in my opinion, unless if you're playing, like, insane stuff. But even then, I don't think there's any, like, proof of that. It just might be that, a person hasn't taken that form to the apex of what it can be. So
everyone's form's bad, and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. even top level players are like, "Oh, my form sucks." It's just a matter of getting it better.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
One thing.
Okay, keep going for it.
Go ahead.
Okay. So the other thing is, when you're playing your sets, I definitely would go for strike a balance between, like, playing too much that doesn't push you, like playing a whole bunch of 13s and 14s when, like, your max difficulty is a 16, versus don't do that, but also don't, like, just try a bunch of 16s and then fail them in the first 10 measures, because that's what I did when I was there, and that kind of held me back for a while. And when I started to actually, like, have better warm-ups and, slowly increase my BPMs from something I was actually comfortable with playing cold, and then kind of working up the difficulty, that helped a lot. And also setting, like, goals for yourself in terms of songs that you want to play, or, like, packs that you want to complete, or just something that helps you structure how you're going to do what you're going to do. A lot of this game is just thinking about, like, meta elements and strategizing about the best way to do things. I've
been like tracking what I'm playing, like what difficulty blocks and, like, how many I'm playing, or, like, how many steps. I know that's kind of arbitrary, or whatever, but I've been tracking, like, how many steps I've been playing per session, and so I've been trying to aim for, like, a minimum of, like, 25,000, which is
that's very reasonable.
Yeah, that could be, like, 5 songs if you played,
the right 5 songs, yeah.
Yeah, it could be, pretty short. But, like, if I aim for, like, a minimum, 25, 35,000-ish, if I'm playing, like, 19s, 20s, or trying 21s, then, 25,000 to 30,000 steps of 21s, and I'm probably going to be pretty tired.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like maybe 45 minutes to an hour of playing at like the 21 level. For beginning players, it'll probably be a little bit less, but maybe not. If you play like an hour and a half long set where you play, I don't know, like Transmania songs, it actually would be probably very reasonable to have the same number of steps in your set.
I think there's something to be said for just, like, playing, long sessions every once in a while.
Yeah,
I feel like
absolutely.
I feel like I feel like after I sometimes I get my best like scores or best passes when I've been playing for like 90 minutes in, and then I'm just in the zone.
Yep, you're in the zone. Your form is good. You figured out what works, and then you can just focus on pushing yourself.
My worst sets always tend to be when it's like, oh, I'm going to warm up fast. I don't have much time. And then like, I try to jump BPMs too quickly, and then I'm like,
then you're just done. And you're like, oh, I don't want to play anymore.
Yep, I just can't move like smoothly, and everything just ends. So.
Yeah, definitely make sure to warm up at a reasonable pace. Don't warm up like this isn't supposed to be a call out, but like don't warm up like Dom and play like stuff that's 4 blocks below your max difficulty for an hour, but like don't warm up so fast that you're playing your max difficulty or max BPM immediately, unless if that works for you. For people in Vancouver, like that kind of works for them sometimes.
Yeah, I know Russ was saying that he sometimes just warms up with like 250, and hey,
goes for it.
Works for you. It's cool.
Yeah, I think Levitas still warms up with like 200 to 220 or something. Yeah. So it just really depends on the person and what works for you.
I'm a big fan of like a nice 180 BPM 17 for the first song. That's what I like. I like to work. I like to work up in like 10 BPM increments.
Yeah, it's like either 5 or 10 for me. It just depends on the day.
Yeah, I feel like my best sets are when I go like a 180, 190, 200 to 210, 220 to 230, something like that.
Yeah, it's actually a really good progression.
All right. So one awesome thing. Got to shout out you for this. This was your brainchild. You started something great. I love it. It's the Hey Man voice chat streaming.
Oh yeah, that was fun. But to be fair, it wasn't completely my idea. It was actually partially Keys' idea. He did something similar where he was just like listening to people in the Stamina Nation voice chat. And I was like, well, let's just take this to the logical conclusion where I'm just streaming in the voice chat on top of that. And so that's what we've been doing for the past week or two. And it's been a blast because people can just like join the Discord and just hang out with people that are streaming, talk to them. They can talk to you. A whole bunch of people have been doing it, but it's been a lot of fun.
I love it. I had a total blast. So when I played the Time to Die Harder 21,
oh yeah. Oh, this was so sad.
It was a blast just having people hang out. Nitties, shout out to Nitties, my hype man.
Shout out to Nitties for passing Fractal Glitchworks.
Oh god.
Yeah, he passed that today. It was fun to watch. He literally said he almost passed out at the end, which
sorry.
I can understand. It's just okay, for context, this is like an hour-long 21 chart that speeds up slowly. It has some very wonky pacing problems, and there's basically no break. So it's just very hard to, like, I don't know, do anything.
Okay, tell me what you don't like about it.
Okay, so specifically there's...
I don't think you got that joke.
There's like one 80 measure run in the middle that has a whole bunch of spirals in a row, and a spiral is like kind of an awkward pattern when it repeats for a long time. And then it just kind of does that for like 32 measures or more. It kind of gets old. But then the problem is like the pacing of the marathon is really weird. So it goes for like 15 minutes at 170, like another 15 minutes at 175, like 5 minutes at 180, like 5 minutes at 185. And then it speeds up to like 193 for like a minute, and then like 198 for a minute, and then 204 for 5 minutes. It's just the speed up at the end is like super aggressive, and then the beginning is really easy. So what happens is like you'll just kind of, something bad will go wrong. Like for me, it was the pad would just get sticky doing all the 175, which was just super easy for a 21. And then at the speed up, the patterns would get a little bit more uncomfortable, especially when it gets to the 198. That part of the chart is just literally Shanti, like the old version of Shanti, and the steps have just been copied in. So they're super mono and really uncomfortable. And then, yeah, I failed that chart like 5 times before I passed it, just for all those various reasons. And then, Yeah. It slows down to 190 at the end, too. It's just really weird. Like, if there was... It wouldn't even be that bad if the speed up to 204 had just been manually slowed down to, like, 190, and that had been the max BPM. Because it would still have been a 21.
So
and it still would have been
an
easy 21.
Voice chat streaming is awesome. Come hang out. If you want to be added, you can request the Heyman role and the Discord server. The point of this role is to only ping it when you are going to stream with voice chat. If you want to be notified, then add yourself to it, but only ping it if you're going to stream with voice chat. That's how I think it should be used, and hopefully people won't be annoying or abusive with it, pinging it all the time.
Crossing my fingers.
Yes, I hope so.
Speaking of which, we'll put a link to the Discord as well in the podcast. So
I'm sure they're probably all familiar, but just in case they aren't.
Just in case.
Yeah, they can find it there.
Or also staminanation.com. One of the two.
Right. Let's see here. Other things we got to talk about. Okay. I want to get your thought on this.
Yeah.
Ian was saying he's come up with 2 good themes for the 7.5, or maybe not 2, maybe 5, or 2 themes for upper and 2 themes for lower for the 8.5 marathons.
Oh, okay.
So he's got 2 good themes, and he can't think of the third. Do you have an interesting theme idea? Maybe we can help him out here.
That's
for a 0.5 marathon.
For upper. Okay, let me think. Actually, no, I don't need to think. He might have done this already, but if he hasn't, chiptune. Like a chiptune themed 0.5 marathon.
Okay.
At like 230, 220, 225.
Okay. Very interesting. Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of a cheap answer because like Chip Speed All Stars exists, and that's basically the same idea. But like, what was it? Petroform's Factory just came out, like during StaminaCon last year. I guess that wasn't just, that was several months ago, but that has a whole bunch of 230 content. It's also in a marathon, but like, I don't know. I really like chiptune music. We haven't had a chiptune themed 0.5 marathon yet. That'd definitely be my pick.
Do you think there's enough lower content that you could do a chiptunes like 13 marathon?
Maybe if you use like a whole bunch of tachyon charts or something.
I'm gonna go with no on that then.
Yeah. Playing the ABCs of Stamina was not fun, precisely because it has all those old charts in it. It's like, okay, I don't want to do crossovers in my ostensibly Stamina chart. Any
other ideas for, like, what about lower? Any ideas for lower ones?
For lower, now that's a little bit harder. You could just keep doing drum and bass, but that's kind of a cop-out.
Drum and bass has definitely been done to death. So is the Eurobeat, the trance. Those are the horses beaten. Dragon Force.
Wait, I've got it. So instead of doing the ABCs of Stamina, what if they did the 123's of Stamina?
The 123's.
So just do a bunch of 13s that have like numbers in the name.
I wonder if they exist.
I mean, maybe not like 1 through 9.
-273 or whatever.
Or I guess I think you just call it absolute 0.
Absolute 0, sure. Okay, that makes way more sense.
Yeah, that's the point.
Way more sense. I'm definitely a big fan of the 7.5 marathons. I thought they were all pretty good, the uppers and lowers.
Yeah, they had good themes, good charts, a wide variety. They were definitely very solid.
Yep.
Did you have any ideas for what those themes would be, Sidro?
I do like your chip tunes / the 8-bit. That is a good one. That's a great one for an upper. It's pretty interesting. I was thinking they could do. So I kind of started Stamina in 6.5. Right around the Wii build. So I feel like all the Weeb stuff has kind of been done. Like you could do it again, but maybe something a little different. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it was done mostly in lower. I think there were a few charts from Sharpnel streams in the upper marathon, but it was like, that definitely wasn't the focus. You could have like a Sharpnel themed upper marathon, probably. it'd be probably relatively easy, but maybe that's not bad. Like, I kind of like the 4.5 approach of having like marathons of wildly varying difficulties.
So it feels like other than the instrumentality projects, those were also a little, a little weeby, other than the like ending with trip.
Well, they were like either weeby or psytrance. It was kind of weird combination.
I love me some psytrance. I love me a nav chart.
Yeah, I mean,
psychedelia. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good charts in there.
Okay,
that are not
so I
desired.
guess we'll throw this one out to the listeners. If you guys have any spicy theme ideas for 0.5 marathons, upper or lower, we'd love to hear it.
And speaking of loving to hear, the place to submit that would be in the spreadsheet that's also going to be linked in the podcast. We kind of wanted to have a thing where people could ask us questions about the game, either in terms of like tips and tricks or just in terms of like what we think about X or Y or Z. So just feel free to submit that comment there.
Yeah, you could do that there. Yeah, more so we're saying for future, if we do a future podcast, we're thinking that there might be enough content to do this bi-weekly, but I'm more thinking maybe once a month. We're not sure yet.
Yeah, so I was thinking bi-weekly.
Yeah, it will depend on how much content's out there, and it'll be somewhat dependent on you guys. What you think, what would you like to hear people talk about? Or, if there's any particular guest, maybe we could get some guests on some of these podcasts. That would be cool.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to that idea. It'll be a lot of fun. I think there'll be some people that would be great to have on here.
Yeah. You guys tell us what you want to hear. Sweet. I would definitely like to have, I think an interesting one for me, a show topic would just be people talking about making charts. I know Chino did a whole panel. If you guys didn't see that, last year, StaminaCon, another cool thing, Chino did a whole panel on making charts, how he does it, his whole process. That's available. It's linked in his release spreadsheet. You can see the whole thing. You can hear the whole audio. Check it out.
Yeah, he has a really good covering of the topic.
Yeah, I want to get into, making some charts myself. I just need I need to go through the videos here and I need the Making Charts for Dummies guide, and then I'll check it out.
Yeah, and don't feel bad like if you make a chart and it's not great, because most people that make a chart, even no matter how good they are, their first chart's like generally not that great. Like my first chart was awful. My second chart was also awful. My third chart was awful too. So they're getting slightly less awful now, but it's definitely a learning curve.
I mean, that's how you got good at hard patterns, right? You just played your own charts.
I wish. Actually, no, okay. I wrote one chart specifically that had like a bunch of mono 2011 patterns to practice, and that definitely did help. But that was like one thing. The rest of them were unintentionally bad.
Yep. Okay. All right. Interesting topic here. I got some questions for you.
Okay.
Favorite. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of people out there. Give them something to check out at different difficulty levels. Favorite 15 song / chart.
Favorite 15 song / chart.
That's hard, isn't it?
Heaven got downrated, right? So that would definitely be my pick. I think there's also a 15 version of it too. It's in ITG Alex's Stamina Safari. I really like that chart. I don't know. People said Les Histoires was a 16, but I think it's a 15. Anyway, that I also really like that one. Hallucinogen is a good mix. It's like 10 minutes, 150 BPM.
Yeah, Hallucinogen. That was my first 15.
And if you want a hard 15, I can't say French words, but it's like Chiper. It looks like Chepper. It's in French Coast Stamina 3.
Oh, that's a long one.
It's a long one, and it's pretty hard for a 15, but really good mix. Rems always finds really interesting genres and mixes to make. That's no exception. I get roasted for saying this, but Ocean Lab's kind of cool. I don't know. All right, then. If you like trance.
Hot takes and everything. We got it.
I picked all the charts that were borderline and also 15s.
Good.
Do you have any chart recommendations? Like, I can't say 17 because I know what you're going to say. What's your favorite chart from? Oh no, that would be a question from Dom, I guess. What is your favorite?
So shoutouts.
What's
to
your
Dom.
favorite 14?
Hold on. Shoutouts to Dom. You're doing good stuff. Play harder songs.
We're calling you out.
Calling you out. Play harder stuff. Stop being afraid to fail. And
Yeah, go past a 20 already, or another 20 already.
He did pass 20.
Yeah, another 20.
Don't be like me. Get stuck at 20s for like 6 months and then you just play 19s. And, just go play more stuff.
It's okay to fail.
Yeah, it's okay to fail.
Also, check out Dominic's stream if you ever get the time. It's like twitch.tv/Dominic with a CK.
Yeah, you guys can always just, if you're looking for streams, you can always just check out either the Stepmania. Well, I think you stream under performance and
music and performing arts.
Performance.
Yeah,
That's right.
trying to attract people that are not from the ITG community, but it doesn't seem to be working.
Yeah, I feel like the only people who actually watch Stamina streams are just Stamina players. So
it's not always true, but it's generally true.
Yeah, it feels general. If you guys are ever looking for streams, just check the Stepmania category on Twitch. You'll find people.
And if you're in the Stamina Nation Discord, there is a channel dedicated to live streams that tells you whenever someone goes live.
Mm-hmm. I do like Rust's new chart.
New chart? Which one?
It's going to be in 8.5.
He has like multiple ones though.
Yeah. It's the So Damn Tough remix.
Oh yeah. Oh, that'll be good.
It's actually a 20.
It's actually 20.
And,
yeah.
It's 217. It's good. I like it. It's got good music.
Russ Step's good stuff. He finds good songs to step.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Sometimes. Do you not like Petriform?
Some of the things in the Petriform pack are there's not a lot of like anything borderline in that pack. Definitely not borderline pack for sure.
I like how it sounded like you were going to talk about the music and then you avoided talking about the music.
It's fine. It's like not my thing, but I kind of like everything. I don't know.
Okay, it's very much my thing, but it just really depends on the person.
I can take it or leave it.
I can take it.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, right. Wait. I was gonna. We dropped this. What's your favorite 14, Sidro?
My favorite 14. It's the. Oh God. It's a Noisia remix.
Ooh.
I'm a big fan of anything that's a Noisia remix. It's a Pendulum one.
Oh.
God, it was an unlock.
Is it If You?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I like that one.
Oh man, you put me on the spot here. I'm trying to think.
Well, you put me on the spot.
Yeah, it's true. You're not wrong. Oh God. Is it the Hold Your Color? No, I don't think it is. I
mean, that's also a really good one.
My answer is all the Noisia remixes. I'm sure there's a bunch of them at 14. I haven't played 14s in a while, but they're all good. So yeah, if you want some sweet stuff, all the Noisia remixes.
And/or London Acid City. But yeah, basically there's a lot of charts, and a lot of them are good.
Yep.
So if you want like maximum content, the RPG packs generally, not always, have quality charts, and that's definitely where I play out of most of the time. But if you want pack recommendations, people have lots of thoughts on that. And there's also a spreadsheet that just has them in the DDR plus ITG Players Facebook group.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we've pretty much covered everything that we had thought about talking to you for this episode.
Yeah, and
Like
it's
we
been
said.
like 50 minutes or something, which seems like a reasonable time, so...
Yeah. We didn't want to structure this too hard, just kind of free flow, chat it out. But for the next one, we want to take your guys' thoughts, comments, suggestions for things to talk about. We'll set up something that you guys can do that.
Yeah, and because we like getting distracted, it probably will go for a little bit longer than this time.
Yeah. So feel free to leave us some feedback. But I think until next time, it's been the Hey Man podcast.
And we'll see you later.
Yeah, we'll catch you for the next one.